John and Mike, brew-dudes.com. And Mike said that he has done some research into all the smash beers that we put together. Is that not true? Is it true?
Yeah,
okay.
it's an experience.
All right. You said, I've got an IPA, and a bunch of the research we've done has gone into it. I'll just leave it there. That's not an incorrect thing, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right, exactly.
All right. So it's an IPA. I'm going to taste it. As people say, like, you'll pontificate for 20 minutes, and I'll just finish this beer.
Yes.
Which is kind of the deal.
So I wanted to, we've done so many smash beers.
Yes.
And I've just continually gotten curious about trying to blend together some interesting combinations. And so basic IPA is a great way to do that. Maybe this is New England IPA, maybe it's not, but this is just sort of like my sort of favorite IPA base that isn't necessarily New England, isn't necessarily West Coast. It's just a good American IPA base. And then we'll talk about the hops in a second, right? So this is in a 3.5 gallon batch. So this is a combination. This is Vitamin Pils. This is white wheat.
Okay.
About 3 Love. And then a touch of Carapils and a little honey malt. A really small amount of honey malt. It's like only 2 ounces, 2.5 ounces. Just to get a little bit of that weird edge color. And also some people like to just put a touch of that honey malt in there because it helps accentuate some of the fruit flavors of the hops you're going after.
I see.
The water was a little lactic acid. I always do about this for a 3.5 gallon batch. This is 1 ml of lactic acid. Then it's 2 grams of gypsum, 1 gram of magnesium sulfate, 1 gram of calcium chloride. The hops on this baby. So this is, remember, it's a 3.5 gallon batch.
I'm listening.
So I've bittered at 60 minutes with a touch of Nugget, 10 grams of Nugget. And then this is where this IPA comes in. So this is, with 10 minutes left in the boil, it is 10 grams of Ekuanot, 10 grams of Dorado, then 5 grams of Citra. Okay. I'm trying to be a little intriguing there with the Citra as a backup. And then I steeped at 180 degrees in the whirlpool after the boil, another 10, 10, and 5 of those 3 hops, Ekuanot, Dorado, and Citra. And then I dry hop this for 3 days cold with 1 ounce each of just the Ekuanot and the Dorado. I'm trying to hammer in on those flavor profiles for this guy. My mash schedule: 145 for 75 minutes, 155 for 10, and 168 from the 10. So really trying to stretch fermentability. I fermented this with the BRY 97 from that's La Brew. So it's a West Coast ale yeast, right?
Yep.
Good for doing these IPA style beers. I ferment it in a keg for about 10 days, and then I cold crash it, and I dry hopped for 3 days cold. In fact, the dry hops are still in there right now. So,
look at that. So, I think as the camera is turned on, hopefully people saw the foamy head that was on top of this. It was really nice, really pillowy for sure, and probably a lot of, some Carapils, but then just, all the other wonderful things you put in.
A little bit of wheat, a little bit of Carapils.
Yeah, that works for it too. Kind of hazy, yellow, almost gold color for sure.
Yep.
Trying to figure out what I'm getting off the nose.
Mm-hmm.
he hints like I know what it is, but and I'm not sure.
I took some notes as a refresher for Dorado and Ekuanot. Citra, I think we know what Citra is supposed to be, although it's been relatively variable.
Yeah, I agree. Because I think those are the first kind of hops we had, the green pepper taste.
Yeah.
I was trying to say, am I getting any of that? And I don't think I'm getting strong vegetal.
No, which is a good
notes.
thing.
Yes, a very good thing. I would say there is from the hops. It's almost citrus rind.
Yeah.
For me, I'm getting that's the strong note. It's nice. It's not overpowering, but it's certainly like an orange rind, And it's like when you're peeling that open.
Yep.
That's what I'm getting out of that. Yep. That's good.
Yeah, I get a little bit of like underripe melon, like a green melon. aroma
Yeah.
with the citrus. It's subtle. It's muted.
Yeah, I was going to say there is some sweetness there too, but I
Yep.
didn't know if I was getting that from the malt or not.
Mm-hmm.
The flavor, I think there is a big punch of kind of a citrus tartness there. No green pepper, but it's on the tip of resiny.
Yeah. It's like
it's right there in the
Yeah.
aftertaste and such.
yeah. For me, it's almost a little bit of that garlic green onion thing, which is
Yeah.
basically a hop, maybe harvest lot specific type of phenomenon in the hop.
Yep.
Anything else?
I would say it's fairly balanced. Yes, hop forward, but it's not overpowering in any one note.
Yeah.
And it's certainly not like some of the beers we've had commercially,
Right.
when you kind of hit over the head because they
Yeah,
put
yeah.
in so much.
Yeah.
It seems.
So El Dorado and Ekuanot, do you have a recollection of what their selling points are?
No, because I think we've had too many bad lots of Ekuanot.
Yep.
Because it was Equinox and then Ekuanot.
Yeah.
And I think that's where it was like, this is kind of diesely and we didn't really want to
That might be
talk
some of what's
about
going
it.
on there.
But El Dorado, I always thought it was an orangey citrus thing. I think that was like the strongest, like if you want to like bring orange, then have some El Dorado.
Yeah. So the big selling point on Yakima Valley,
Yep.
Which is where I got these hops, the word they push the most is pineapple.
Pineapple.
Pineapple followed by tropical.
Okay.
Those are the two big ones. Then later in the description, they mention pineapple again, but they blend in pear, watermelon, and stone fruit. Ekuanot is supposed to deliver melon, berry, citrus, apple, and notes of papaya.
No.
But I think I vaguely get
I think the citrus
on the
coming
mid
through,
palate in there. There's definitely a citrusy thing. All these American hops, it's all citrus. I don't care what anybody is, citrus, but with some other notes in there that might drive you to those other things. I sort of get a little bit of the watermelon. But it's because I read the descriptors before. You know what I mean? So I know what it's supposed to be. So I guess I could sort of get it. Overall, I like the way all these hops have come together. I would like it to be a little bit more of a fruit punch.
Okay.
Not fruit punch the drink, but like a punch of fruit.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think that, because we'll get these kind of comments, doubling or tripling the hop load, because what we are, that would also increase in volume with what we're tasting already, and maybe way underneath there, all of a sudden some pineapple would come into play. But the other question too is you never know, biotransformation or the lack thereof in this example. But otherwise, I do sort of like what has sort of been created here with El Dorado, Ekuanot, and Citra. I almost was just going to dry hop with Citra and go for the best, but I haven't seen a nice batch of Citra in a long, long time. So I can't really say that getting a nice, beautiful, lemon, orange Citra thing, which is what I remember it to be originally. It's just, I haven't seen that since it first came out, I don't think, right?
Yep.
I think it delivers pithy citrusness. So if you want that, if you want to drive this West Coast IPA, double the amount of Nugget hop, right? And just stick with this, and you'd have a much more bitter experience with all that hop flavor in it too.
Yep.
So I like having that bittering charge because I sort of like the old school, like Heady Topper is actually like 70 IBUs of bittering in it, and then there's all that nice hop floral flavor character. I'm not fully going for that here, but I do like a bit of a traditional 60-minute kick.
Yeah. So you said that the yeast was West Coast strain.
Yeah, BRY 97.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's what is showcasing the beer the way it is. I think that if you were to use one of those other strains that really do bring out the fruit, you'd get
an English-based
punch.
London ale.
Yeah, you get that punch you were looking for.
Yep.
I think, in my experience, any of those typical clean, probably descendants of the Chico strain.
Yeah.
you're going to get something like this where the bitterness, it's not overly fruity, but it's like kind of refined. Everything's kind of like in its right place.
Yep.
You know, and even though it's hop forward, it's sort of like, okay, there's still a refreshing thing here, and it's not going to knock you over the head. It just kind of ferments a bit too dry, and you know, kind of keeps it in a place where it's not overwhelming. But you know, again, I enjoy this beer a whole bunch. You know, even if you didn't say, even if you just say like, hey, I made an IPA, and go into like grand details, right? I'd be like, yeah, this is really good, and I'd have another one.
When you craft a recipe, when you taste it, in the end, there's the purpose, but there's also what's the final symphony really want to taste like. And as it's warmed up a little bit more, I'm getting a little bit more of like a candied fruit character out of it. So, you know, it sits for another maybe week cold, and we'll see what happens to it. I mean, it might shake out, develop a little bit more. Right. So. Well. But I like it. I'm gonna do more of these hop blending IPA experiments, and we'll see what we get.
Yeah, certainly the serving temp being warmer will bring out more flavors too, for sure. But I'd like it cold. It's good.
Yep.
All right. Well, I look forward to it. It's an IPA series from Mike. It's gonna be debunking all the myths about all the tropical fruit flavors. You should be getting all these varieties.
Yeah, your hop sources.
We'll see what we can do. Well, this is interesting. I totally like whiffed on the El Dorado and the Ekuanot, but oh well. I really thought El Dorado was orangey.
Who knows? Maybe they've changed.
Maybe
over
they've
time,
changed.
you know?
Who knows? But I'll have to check my books from 20 years ago. In any case, hopefully you enjoyed this. There's always a good time for an IPA, no matter what you're trying to go after. If you're really trying to do a fruit punch type thing, certainly like yeast strain is going to play a part of it. But you know, I think that the grain bill Mike chose makes it a great base for showcasing hop flavors and aromas. And then, depending on what kind of style you really are going for, your yeast will bring it forth. And again, very enjoyable. I can't wait to have another one, actually. So we'll work on that. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel. We do this kind of thing every single week. For John and Mike, brew-dudes.com. Brew on.
Cheers.